The swarm of temporary stables that greet motorists heading north on Route 7 from East Dorset are a dead giveaway that the Vermont Summer Festival, also known as the Dorset Horse Show, is back in town. This year's festival opened on July 5th. Riders have already captured a few of the high-stakes prize money during the first weekend series of Grand Prix events and other competitions. More than 1,000 horses and more than 3,000 riders are expected to pass through the festival's grounds on the former Beebe Farm in East Dorset before the 6-week-long event comes to a close in mid-August. The event brings in an estimated $20 million in revenue to the area, and for several local businesses, it's an important part of their summer season. For one local family, the event has even more meaning. 3 generations will continue a family tradition of riding and taking part in challenging tests of skill and horsemanship. Donnie Tiff from Londonderry, her daughter Andrea Conrad, and her daughter Peyton, along with her son Pierce, they all live in Sunderland, will be taking part in some of the events. The family's multi-generational involvement in the Vermont Summer Festival goes back more than 10 years, and Grandma has been competing in events for about 50 years. They talked about what it was like during a break in the action recently at the horse show grounds.
I'm very impressed. I feel very comfortable here.
Horses are very happy here. They have the new footing over the last couple of years in all of the arenas.
Yes.
There's just, some area off site a little bit. They can walk their horses after classes, out of the hustle and bustle, and it's just a great community for people to come year after year and support our community with all the shopping and
restaurants,
places to stay, places to eat. There's so much to do here, and it's a beautiful site in the middle of the mountains.
It's always been competitive. That's the whole ball game. But I would have to say things are far more orchestrated and more pinpoint perfection now. When I was younger, like a teenager and stuff, riding, no one jumped 2 feet, 2'6", 3 feet. You jump 3'6", or there wasn't anything for you to ride in. So they definitely. I was jumping 3'6", 4 feet when I'd only been riding and showing for about 3 years. So you really got pushed right into the big jumps.
And looking at pictures from years back of Mom riding, there was also a lot less riding in an arena, as from what I could tell. You did more cross-country type, almost, in comparison.
Yep. We even went through rivers and over natural stone walls, but it was considered a hunter class. It wasn't eventing.
Yes. Being local here and being more of the type that wants our horses as part of our family and pet members, it's not a business to us, it's a pleasure. So we have our 1 or 2 horses that we really create a bond with and just commit to for years and years rather than a season to make some money and sell.
My daddy, when I first tried it, my dad was proud of me.
Aww.
But they're not the only locals who will be suiting up for the big show. So will Daphne Markrow of Manchester, who's also a returning rider to the event.
So I grew up in North Carolina, but moved to Vermont about 20 years ago. I met my husband in college in North Carolina, and he's a Vermonter. So we moved to Vermont, and so naturally I started riding because Vermont is so good for that. And this being in our backyard was just too much to resist. I do the hunters here only, and I do the 3-3 amateur owner they call it the AOs. So each week is a new horse show, and my division goes Saturdays and Sundays. So we would normally, flat during the week, maybe jump a little bit Tuesday or Wednesday, and then show Friday and Saturday.
Daphne says the horse show draws people because of the other attractions of the area.
I think everybody really enjoys the show, and Manchester is such a draw, I know, for so many people who have families and young kids and want to have a life outside of the horse show. They seem to really love all that Manchester has to offer.
The festival was first held in East Dorset 24 years ago. At the time, it was an event split between here and Waitsfield, Vermont. But in 2002, the event was consolidated into one venue in East Dorset. It's grown and expanded a lot since then. New ground cover or footings put in place in 2015 are among the latest improvements to have upgraded the facility, although those may be among the least noticed by those not directly involved in the sport. Ruth Lacey, who handles public relations for the festival, says she expects the festival to have another strong 6-week run, as they did last year. The entire area plays a role in the secret sauce that makes the festival successful.
Last year we were sold out weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5. We generally weeks 1 and 6, the bookend weeks, aren't as big. We've just finished week 1 and we had a very strong week. We'll probably never completely sell out week 6, or I'm sorry, week 1. We're always sort of ramping up. We had a really good week 1. So this year we're sold out 2, 3, 4. We expect by the time week 5 arrives, we will sell out. So we're going to probably have a very comparable year. It isn't a manufacturing business. We can't sort of create more business out of nowhere, but we'll have a very successful year, we expect. So I have an interesting perspective. I mean, we can all agree that Vermont is a special place, but what Manchester brings is a good infrastructure of restaurants and the shopping and the quarry and the zip line at Bromley, and you bring it all together. And the fact that our show takes place during the summer, so that it is a family-friendly environment here, and there's a lot of things that not just the equestrians but all their family members can do here. We as show management strive to keep our days as short as possible. Sometimes we do run into the 7 o'clock at night time frame, but we do want the show to wrap up so all of our competitors can go into town and eat and go swimming and just enjoy the area, shop and whatever. But yeah, our customers love it here, and I've never done a complete study, but I would guess that probably 80% of our business is repeat business every year, and that's because this is where they almost come to summer camp, if you will, summer equine camp. It's just special, but it's Vermont, and we all love it.
The festival is scheduled to run through August 13th, so the village of barns, stables, and trailers will continue to be a fixture along that stretch of Route 7 for several weeks yet. Saddle up and go. The action has only just begun. For the GNET TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.